Ever since the release of GoldenEye 007 on the Nintendo 64, I have loved the 007 franchise. When a new 007 game came out, I had to get it, even if it was bad. Tomorrow never dies, anyone? When 007 Nightfire was announced, I was hyped. It was the second 007 game to grace Gen 6 consoles, and it featured the likeness of the then current movie Bond, Pierce Brosnan. In November 2002, 007 Nightfire received positive reviews from critics and gamers alike. After 22 years, I wanted to see if this Gen 6 console 007 game could stand the test of time. New Year's Eve, Paris, France. A rogue nuclear weapon is on its way to the Eiffel Tower. It is up to 007 to help French intelligence operative Dominique Paradis to stop the threat of this attack. Should you fail, Paris will be no more, and the true threat behind this attack will never be brought to light. 007 Nightfire tells a tale of world-spanning action from Paris to Japan. Story elements are told to players through cutscenes and in-game dialogue. The story, while not the most original after 20 years, remains a highlight for players to enjoy as they work through the game with plenty of twists. There are plenty of cheesy classic 007 moments that you will either love or hate. 007 Nightfire is a first-person shooter set in the espionage-filled world of James Bond. Right from the start, you can tell this game is a step above all of publisher EA's previous attempts at a 007 game. Taking cues from newer shooters, Nightfire finally implements a proper twin-stick control scheme by default. The first Gen 6 007 game, Agent Under Fire, still used a legacy layout by default, requiring you to switch to one of the game's alternate control schemes to get twin-stick functionality. Face and shoulder buttons are utilized far more intuitively than any previous 007 game. Unfortunately, a dedicated grenade button is not implemented, and players are forced to scroll through large weapon inventories to use them, which hurts in faster-paced encounters in Nightfire. As with any shooter, the weapons available to you are a big part of the fun. Nightfire offers a good selection that mostly act like their real-life counterparts, from pistols to ARs. There are a few surprises, however. Almost every weapon in Nightfire has an alternate fire mode, which varies from adding a suppressor to your iconic PP7, alternate firing modes, to manning a remote-controlled turret briefcase. As the game progresses, you come across several types of weapons, so give each of their normal and alternate fire modes a try, as they can be beneficial for any given encounter. For select missions, you are equipped with special weapons like a tranq dart gun or crossbow to further mix things up in fun ways. You also have a melee attack to use as a last resort or for non-lethal takedowns. No 007 game would be complete without gadgets, and Nightfire is full of them. Though most of the gadgets in Nightfire are similar to ones seen in previous 007 games, they have received a few upgrades to let them stand out. One visual change I appreciate is that the Q laser is a part of Bond's wristwatch again instead of being attached to his phone. There are a few new additions to the gadget roster, so don't feel like everything is just a reskin from previous games. My personal favorite of the new additions is the Q Stunner. This stun gun built into Bond's keys provides a satisfying zap with accompanying animation to use on enemies. With the enemy incapacitated, you can easily follow up with a knockout punch. Of course, none of these weapons and gadgets would be fun to use if the levels in Nightfire weren't good. Thankfully, Eurocom has provided a vast range of mission variety. The introduction stage that automatically plays when first starting the game gives you the basics of both weapon and vehicle play. Other on-foot missions provide an excellent blend of stealth and action segments with an occasional boss fight thrown in. Nightfire's vehicular segments are either stationary turret play or driving. While the turret segments aren't as exciting, Nightfire does a good job at making eliminating numerous enemies or obstacles fun with plenty of big explosion moments. Driving feels great with arcade handling and levels to race through. Having access to missiles, machine guns, and gadgets helps to make these segments more memorable. In one later game level, you get to use your car as a submarine, which is a great throwback to The Spy Who Loved Me. Sadly, I don't care for the level as a whole, but it is still unique and a visual treat. Nightfire blends the balance between foot levels and vehicle levels well, without either feeling more dominant than the other. It also helps the game overall that every type of level provides fun and challenging moments. 007 Nightfire utilizes a ranking system for each of its levels to challenge players further. Bond moments and 007 tokens are littered across each for players to discover, often requiring out-of-the-box thinking to obtain. The medal system will award players with bronze, silver, gold, or platinum depending on a variety of factors. Achieving medals also unlocks different bonuses for either the campaign or multiplayer, which makes them worth pursuing. For platinum, you will need to play on 00 Agent difficulty and collect every Bond move and 007 token you can for the ultimate challenge. Finally, Nightfire wouldn't be a true 007 game without the inclusion of multiplayer. Featuring up to 4 players on console and a mix of levels from the game and 007 movies, Nightfire multiplayer is a blast. If you have friends that are too good to play old Gen 6 games, fear not. Nightfire includes bots with varying skill levels to face off against. The number of bots allowed per game does depend on your console of choice, with PS2 being limited to 4 and GameCube and Xbox allowing 6. The various weapon and gadget combinations can make each game unique and hectic. The sound work of a 007 game is such a mix of awesome Bond-inspired themes, original music, and hit-and-miss dialogue. The music is great with ambient tracks playing during lower action segments and blasting into these Bond themes the moment action picks up. But like most voice work from that time, it comes with its ups and downs. My first complaint with the audio work is that Pierce Brosnan does not provide any dialogue for the game. While it does feature his likeness, the voice work is done by another actor, and while it isn't bad, it just feels off to me. My second complaint is far more serious though. Enemy dialogue is terrible! It seriously feels like the enemies have only 2 different lines of dialogue and they repeat them every 2 seconds. Though I suppose the bad dialogue gives you a reason to clear enemies out faster. While voice work by the main cast is fine, the enemy dialogue seriously has me questioning whether I want to turn the audio off sometimes. But each version of the game offers surround sound to further immerse players in its world. Late 2002 Gen 6 graphics felt like they hit a good stride between quality and performance. While textures look flat and generic today, models and animations still look great. Pierce Brosnan's likeness added to the effect that you were Bond instead of using some generic stand-in like past 007 games. Weapons and gadgets all look distinct and offer plenty in the way of animation quality. Earlier, I mentioned loving the Q stunner. Most of that comes from the enemy's animation as you use it on them. Maybe if you stun them enough, they can learn new dialogue. Xbox and GameCube offer players crisp 480p output, while PS2 is stuck at 480i for a slightly muddier appearance. Regardless of the version, players can enable anamorphic widescreen to fill a modern display. Widescreen does stretch HUD elements and slightly decreases overall image sharpness, but the increased visibility is fantastic. In my most recent playthrough of 007 Nightfire on PS2, there is little I could find to criticize about it. While dialogue choices and lack of enemy chatter variety can be obnoxious, it doesn't ruin the game. My biggest complaint would be that gadgets are underutilized and can be completely ignored for the overwhelming majority of a playthrough. Unless there is a story reason for the gadgets, you likely won't use them to beat the game. Metal hunting may bring them more use, but it still feels lacking. The checkpoint system is also inconsistent between levels. Some offer a nice retry point after each mid-level cutscene, and others make you restart the level from the beginning regardless of progress. Most missions aren't long, so it isn't a huge deal, but I dislike the inconsistency. Even after 22 years, 007 Nightfire offers players one of the best 007 campaigns across its 12-story missions. Thanks to its ranking system, you can find hours of play in trying to get platinum across each one. Multiplayer with friends or bots also extends the life of the game, and it is still a blast when modern games are feeling underwhelming. For you keen viewers out there thinking, hey, wait a minute, wasn't there a PC version of Nightfire? You are correct. Gearbox Software handled the port of Nightfire to PC. Notable today for games like Borderlands, back in 2002, Gearbox was mostly an expansion and ports studio. Having made numerous expansions for the original Half-Life and porting that game to PlayStation 2, Gearbox was ready to expand. Part of this expansion included developing and porting console games to PC. But what is different about the PC version of Nightfire? Almost everything. While the story elements are kept intact, every level is completely different from the console version in both layout and objectives. Driving levels have been removed completely, and because of this, the prologue from the console version is not present on PC. A few original levels did make it into the game to compensate for the lack of vehicle levels, but Nightfire on PC is a shorter game than on consoles. The upside today is that the PC version of Nightfire is available completely free for everyone to play, and its online multiplayer is completely intact. Bad dialogue choices aside, 007 Nightfire stands as a strong contender for the best 007 game ever made. Mission variety, story, weapons, gadgets, and multiplayer all come together to make a very strong package that is still worth playing today. If you still have a PlayStation 2, GameCube, or Xbox lying around and have never given a 007 game a try for one reason or another, go ahead and give Nightfire a go. It is that enjoyable. And that's where we're going to call it for today's review. 007 Nightfire, just an immensely enjoyable game no matter where you play it. PC, consoles, and even the console versions are all so similar to each other that there's just really no version that stands above the others. I mean, I go back and forth between Xbox and GameCube all the time, but playing it on PS2 is also enjoyable. It's just, I enjoy it. It's a good game. But thank you all so much for watching today's review. Here at the end, usual favors to ask. If you haven't already, thumbs up, thumbs down, depending how much you like this one. And then be sure to hit that sub button, notification bell, so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. And a big thank you to all of our backers for voting for 007 Nightfire this week. Really fun to revisit this one, and we're going to be playing this one a lot more on PS2 to try to earn more retro achievements, so good stuff. But anyway, if you'd like to vote for future retro achievements, be sure to check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Every little bit helps keep our channel going, and really enjoying being able to make this a lot more interactive for everyone that backs. But thank you so much again for watching. Till next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming. We'll see you back next video.